And you see it just went to on air,
Yeah,
and it'll take a minute here, and now it's live here.
They'll start showing.
And there's about it's over a minute delay, unfortunately. Even though I have this set to as fast as we can, where's the?
Says that we're having trouble with bit rate. The bit rate is slow,
Yeah,
endangered, it says. Comes up every once in a while.
yeah. And I don't know what's using up our bandwidth. I was looking to see somewhere here I had. Oh, it doesn't matter, but you can see our stream health. You can see that we're live. And then during the service, what we've been doing is we switch between, as the speaker's talking, we can do the speaker.
Well, that'd be camera one,
Yeah,
which would be
Which
the
is-
church camera.
right. The
And
PTZ
two.
camera.
Yeah. Then that would
We'd
be,
go to camera 2, which we don't have anything on, or we can go back to this.
and 3 usually is the laptop.
Yeah. Well, if it's set to laptop here, so
Okay.
we could actually duplicate them. It's whatever we're sending to the screen is we're also sending to the live stream. And right now, like, we can, this is actually, so we're sending to the iPhone to the live stream right now. So, but we'll put it back to the desktop. So,
But now we're not recording. Or are we? Yeah, we are.
yeah, we're still, it's whatever is recording is also what's going to the live stream. And then we can monitor on the headphones what's going to the live stream. And so that's the other real important part. So on the mixing board, the mute buttons at top here and the sliders and the 2 sliders main mix only affect the house mix. To affect the live stream, each source has its own mix. That's why we need to listen on monitors as we're listening on the headphones. So if
That's
this,
the red buttons.
the red row.
We just gotta know which is
So
lavalier and
yeah.
which is coming from.
So like the lapel, we can turn it up and down. What I'm using right now, we can turn it up and down without affecting what's happening in the church. And also, whoever's running the sound can modify the church sound as needed without affecting our stream. So this is our row here, and then there's a master here that we can. So if everything is too hot, we can bring it up or down here.
That red one does it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's primarily to go here, because if we got to get a good level here and just leave it always, you should always leave it at the O if you can.
Well,
So
if we leave those red ones to where they're working good, there's less chance somebody playing with them than there is somebody playing with the red one, the big slider.
correct. But the thing of it is though, like what happened today, if we had the CD, is the CD player running?
Yes, you know,
It's not running right now. Let me turn it on.
that's how we get music. Accidentally.
So, and it affects this, but it does not affect the screen. So, well, we could do a copy of the house mix, but I would strongly recommend not doing it, because again, there's times where you're going to want something different. And we so you can control what's going into that here, but we can also control it in here. Audio. We're using mic 1. And we can control the levels. But it's duplicating what's here. It's just you can't control it underneath. Yeah. Okay, so let me.
Now it's off.
So now you should just hear me.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I'm not hearing you at all on here.
You're not?
Wait, yes, I am.
You should be.
Yep, I am.
Yeah, so see, even though I'm muted here in the church,
Mhm.
we're still live streaming you,
Okay.
or live streaming me.
Yep.
You're no longer looking at this camera. So if you're trying to record the camera when it's not on there,
Oh,
you can
Um,
switch your keyboard there. Okay, now you got it.
But it's recording on the YouTube live stream, though. You were recording, but it's just that you couldn't see it on there, right?
yeah, well, yeah. No, you weren't seeing it on the,
Live stream?
no, you were seeing this on the live stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's why
So-
I mentioned it.
yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
You
Yeah.
lost that part.
yeah. But, so you have a lot of control here. I'm gonna, before I leave, so there's another button here, media. So I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna put in a few slides here. One like, stay tuned, the live stream will start momentarily, something like that. We can do a yeah, technical difficulties one. And you can switch to that on here using,
That's use number 4.
there's a button here that says still. Oh, that's not it. Still, or you can go back to the camera. But so you would, again, that's where it's kind of awkward where we're sharing the computer,
Yeah.
is you have to get to this screen while someone's doing something else, choose which slide you want to watch, and then go to still, and it'll put it on there.
So was there an option to be able to work around that then?
You know, I'm thinking we can,
I didn't keep pushing it.
yeah, no, that's fine.
Remember, no swearing during the service. Or punching or kicking.
I lost my train of thought. You just asked me something.
Lost train of thought.
We're talking about live streaming.
Oh, how to work around
Well,
sharing.
how are you gonna work
So-
around that? You had a
Well-
suggestion about maybe.
We could consider just getting like a Chromebook, a cheap computer, because the processing, all the streaming, is done in the hardware, so we don't really need a powerhouse computer.
I don't think Chromebook's gonna correspond with Microsoft.
No, it's just you can get a Chromebook really cheap.
No, but I'm
But-
saying.
but it- the,
Wife's
uh,
got a Chromebook, it doesn't match the Microsoft stuff. You get
Right.
problems with it.
Well, but you can do YouTube on it, and that's
Oh,
what
you
we need
can?
to do. Yeah.
Okay.
But now that you're saying that, I have to double check that we can, that the camera control will work on a Chromebook. But if not, we can always just get another,
PC.
just a PC. Again, it doesn't need to, it needs almost no memory.
We can
No,
use it, we
you know.
can classify this as the old one and then get Windows 11 on the new one.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we don't have to worry about upgrading.
But that way then it's just, we're not having to share back and forth, because now and then, like when you're trying to set up to play the audio, to play the recorded, the hymns,
Yeah.
and if he's trying to,
And I get a
It-
little nervous.
yeah, yeah. So that's why we have to get in the habit of setting up the YouTube ahead of time. Then we don't have to worry about it, then we can just hit record there, but,
If we got something playing beyond our live stream to keep people interested, like, even if you guys are up there setting stuff up, it keeps people's attention, so
Right.
they stay on.
right.
But if you just got pictures,
Well-
they're gonna click off.
The other thing too is, we could, we'd have to be careful of copyright stuff, but we could just have something, just like you're playing the music off of here, we could just be playing just something pleasant on the computer
Mhm.
and just be sending out that stream. And, we can overlay, using the Atom, we can overlay, so it could be saying, please stay tuned, the service will begin momentarily.
Yeah.
And it can be a live, that's overlaid, like, the Chiron on the news.
We used to play a musical DVD
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
the start of the seminars and stuff.
Mhm.
We'd play that up there, and then we'd come with
Yeah.
this, start the seminar.
Yeah, so we could do something like that just to keep the attention.
Yeah.
So,
they do have a counter, and I don't know where you get it, you know, but
yeah.
it's some kind of software. You got like,
The-
live stream will start in 3 minutes.
Yeah. We did that at one of the churches in Phoenix I was with, but everyone had to be really disciplined. Because you have to start, the timers we were using were download timers that were preset, and when the timer ended, the screen went blank unless you were ready to start your service.
Yeah.
And so we just have to be disciplined. But
And you gotta wait for that to boot up anyway. You know, it takes, what, a minute?
yeah, and it's almost a minute delay. If you,
It is.
how can
yeah.
we show that? Well, I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to try and figure out how to show us the delay. But so the main things are getting it started, set up the YouTube ahead of time before you need it. And then, so at the end of the Sabbath school, then we end the stream here. Then you have to go back to YouTube and set it up again. You can't pause and then hit the live stream again. Live streaming doesn't work that way. You live stream and then you stop.
That's
And then
why-
you do a new stream.
That's why I was wondering if today would have been a good idea to keep the live stream going while we're taking our break, then put up the stuff that's, you know, visit this, visit that.
You know, we probably can. The reason I wasn't doing it is because YouTube used to, until you had a lot of subscribers, after about an hour, they kicked you off.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that could happen.
And I don't know if they still do that or not.
They probably do.
So that's the reason why I
Sure,
do a separate live stream.
sure, I can see that.
Also then, like today, then, you know, until you put up the edited versions, which I know you're doing really quickly generally, but someone can go on and I got here late, I didn't hear Sabbath School, I just want to see Sabbath School, or and they don't have to then search through to find where did the sermon start and so that's an advantage there. But so the important thing, so turning on YouTube ahead of time, and then being aware of the volumes. So what you're hearing in the church is not what we're sending out. So you need to check with headphones and make sure. And in particular, the thing that's got us, it seems like almost every week, is the music player. Is to make sure to kill the music player
I think
here.
we learn now.
Yeah, but it's.
'Cause
I'm going to put it on the checklist. I'm
It
going to.
ruined Jan's beginning.
Yeah.
It went all the way until he started.
Mm-hmm.
It was music and it drowned her out.
Yeah, but so I'll, yeah, well, so there you can see the delay. I was trying to see how can we see the delay. Do you see how?
Oh, yeah. When I'm concentrating on going, you know, splitting cameras,
Mm-hmm.
that'll flash and it kind of distracts me a little bit.
Yeah, but that's why,
And then I might hit one
Oh.
of the buttons on the camera because I'm thinking that he's flipping the screen on, or not so much Gary, but the pastor, you know.
Right.
When he does scripture, he'll change screens. And then when I see this flash,
so what we should probably do is actually, well, if you bring up something else, or just don't kill this, because that'll kill the live stream. Just shrink it,
just minimize it.
and that way then then you're not seeing that weird delay.
Yeah.
Because that is, and it's considerable. It's,
It's distracting to me because you'll see a flash.
right.
Like when it changes camera view, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh, I should have hit that button.
Yeah, so I think that's probably our best bet is to go to a neutral screen.
Yeah, I think so too.
But remember, just don't kill it. Or
No.
put it in the tray, reduce it,
Right.
and put it in
It's
the
a
tray.
minus bar.
So, and that's well. So Jimmy, you're not up on this, but you may have to do it some days. So this switcher is what's going to the screen. We've got the camera, the PTZ camera. We've got labeled this laptop, and it's the
Speakers.
the speakers up front, and we've got the desktop. And then right now I've got this extra one is just dangling it back. And so sometimes I plug my laptop in to do announcements. Right now we've got the iPhone plugged into it. We could, for some reason, if you wanted to stick a GoPro back here or whatever, it's open. We can use it for whatever. And then whatever we're sending from here is actually labeled as screen here. And so we've got here we've got the PTZ camera, Jim's main camera, and then whatever's the screen.
It'd be the laptop. That the-
Generally. Generally.
Scripture,
Yeah,
when you show scripture or screenshots.
Right.
Or slides, whatever it is.
right. But that mixer is sending the live stream, which is the button up
Yeah.
here.
Right.
And record sends to this, normally it's a blue one, but
Yeah.
sends to here. Oh, that's the other really important thing is to get audio, you always have to choose mic 1. Otherwise there'll be no audio.
Well, you won't even record either. That has
You'll
to be
just
on. Oh, wait, you do
no,
record.
you'll record, but just with no, there'll be no audio.
No sound, yeah.
So the only audio we're getting is coming from here. Again, because HDMI, none of these cameras have audio on them,
Yeah.
so.
We finally got rid of the buzz. I don't know what you did, but you got rid of the buzz.
It's just the way I have the wire routed. That may change again, so, and we may need to look at shielding that. I thought of maybe just putting it underneath these two things.
So do you
Just so you have
room-
more
Do you have room for
metal.
one more CAD 6?
I have to double check that because I was going to see and make sure that the laptop is plugged into the Cat 6.
Okay.
Or not the laptop, the church computer. I don't know if do you know that offhand? Are we using Wi-Fi on this, or is this plugged into the little switch back there with the Cat, with the
I think
Ethernet?
it's got Wi-Fi on it.
So, but if not, we should be using the Ethernet Cat 6 on it. That is faster than Wi-Fi
Yeah,
and more reliable. And that might be why we're seeing that lagging.
that could be.
Almost
So-
certainly.
And worst case is, I just got a 4 or 5 port one because they have the camera hooked up to it. I'm not sure what all we have hooked, but we can get a, those are cheap, the switches. So if it's a 4 input, we can put in a 6 input if we had to. But, so, I'll come up at some point.
And I
down
think
and
we're
make sure.
through the Ethernet. We got the cable going to the back.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So
Yeah, so
that
it is all Ethernet already, so. So, it could just be, Saturday morning, people sitting home streaming Netflix or whatever. Because, the way bandwidth works is we can have fantastic one, but if everybody in the neighborhood is streaming, it takes your bandwidth.
Two things you must do also. There's a switch on the pulpit,
Mm.
that's gotta be turned on, and up by the copy machine, there's a switch that gets turned on. So we have these extenders powered.
Oh,
And that's
You don't-
that
And
camera
that camera is also on.
and the projector are both powered off that.
oh, yeah,
There's a
show
switch
that
up there, yeah, because that camera won't work if you don't,
Okay.
And when you turn the projector off, you double click it, you'll see, click it the first time and say you're turning it off. The second time we'll turn it off, you gotta wait till it cools down, and then it'll shut us up, it will beep beep when it's done. Then you can turn the power off upstairs.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
gotta cool itself down then.
Yeah.
I don't
And-
know how necessary it is, but yeah.
There's a power strip up there that needs to get turned off, right?
Right,
So,
there's a power strip underneath.
I don't know if you guys are here, you've probably heard, but the Spencerville church burnt down. It's a complete loss, like $5 million.
Well, you had that in your.
Well, yeah. So, it turns out it was something in the audiovisual booth was left on. So, it is, what Gary's saying is really critical that we turn everything off. Because we don't want to be responsible for burning the
I know
church
Ron's
down.
powered things up, and, oh, Nalo, this projector's not working, and this is, you gotta go upstairs, do this. Okay, now everything is working fine. But
But,
you're not gonna get your cameras or anything else because it's not talking. It's
Yeah.
extended, powered.
yeah,
The
So-
cables to be-
we just need to remember that too then at the end of the
I'm
service to
surprised
turn
we're
that
not
off.
being interrupted with updates in the middle of the streams. Or in the middle
Well,
of
so,
it.
Microsoft updates on Tuesdays. So that's another thing is why, when you first get here, turn the power on, bring up the laptop, or the computer, so that if there is any updates waiting, they'll happen then. They used to do it, I forget, the third Tuesday, but it's still every Tuesday. And with with 10, we should still be able to delay it. With Windows 11, it just, next time you turn it on, it updates. You don't have it, remember you used to be able to say update now or do it, remind me later? Windows 11, there's no option. It updates when it updates. When you turn it on, after a Tuesday update.
Yeah, I got Windows
But
11
they
on mine. I don't remember if it gives you anything or not.
Well, I know, like,
You leave it
with
for a
our
long time?
presenter,
Yeah, it'll put it to
If you
sleep.
leave it, okay.
If you went to sleep, it'll upgrade, right? It'll still
if
upgrade.
it's, yeah, we,
I never turn it
well,
off.
yeah,
Just
so you're
sleep.
probably okay. See, our laptops, we turn off, and so I always have Jan on Friday before she's gonna speak. Well, real often she just closes it, she puts it to sleep. But the problem is then if the battery dies, and then we get here and she turns it on, and it can go into update mode. So I always tell her Friday night, do a hard turn it off, and then turn it back on, and frequently we have to wait, 15 minutes or whatever while it, so, yeah.
See, I got a
But they come out,
desktop plugged in.
and if somebody's here during the week, then that alleviates that, because like I say, they push their updates out every Tuesday.
I came on Wednesday to try the sermon up there, and it was going through an update, so I
Oh,
pressed the
yep.
slider. It's waiting, it's supposed to be advancing. I pressed it again, now it jumps 2, and I had to come back. And it took a while to,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I wasn't that worried about that. Okay, I went home and told it to update, and it took about 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some long ones, so,
That's gonna be a crash.
Especially if it's like a service pack.
yeah, yep.
I don't think they do that as much anymore, those big service packs.
Yeah, not like it used to be, that's true. You used to have, real often have those hour rates, but
Yeah.
now real often it's just 15 minutes or whatever.
200 megabits per second, it helps too, because we used to be a lot slower.
That's true,
so
yeah,
That
yeah,
helps.
yeah.
I
So,
think that's what this is, isn't it? This is 200, the service.
Something
I
like that.
think that's, didn't it,
For
We got the
uploads,
box that can do what
Is it-
it
Or
has.
is it 300? Maybe it's 300 now. Is the standard spectrum.
Well, what do you
But
mean,
it
the
should be.
bandwidth? They
Yeah,
cut
it-
bandwidth?
yeah, it should be plenty.
Well,
Coming in,
They are.
download is like 300 now, I think, and upload is 20.
see, while we've been here this evening though, we got the warning.
I don't understand why you're on the uploads higher.
Well, yeah, by default though, because most people are streaming, watching TV, not adding content, so,
Not much going
Right,
up for
whoops.
most people.
yeah.
I gotta say though, stuff I'm doing here, it only takes about 40 minutes, and it's up, and it's almost real time. Like if you
Yeah.
got a 44-minute sermon,
Right.
it takes 44 minutes to upload it,
Mm-hmm.
and you can watch it already. So that's pretty good.
That's good, yeah. I use a T-Mobile, they call it home internet, but it's really,
But if I
A
put it
glorified cell
4K
phone.
though, if I put my camera in 4K,
right,
you're looking at some major time.
Yeah.
I tried that too,
yeah. I would discourage that. I would
No.
do everything in
1080.
is fine, because most people watch on their screen, and a lot of people are still on plans, data plans, and they don't want to use up all their data to watch your sermon once. They don't need to see the hairs on my nose when I'm speaking, so 720 is fine.
That'd be just a tiny bit blurry.
Yep. Okay. Is there anything else we need to cover? I'm trying to think. Yeah, you know where the switch on this is, Jim, right? It's weird. It's
Yeah.
down, it's kind of hard to
I
find.
never played with
I was
it.
going to get some glow-in-the-dark paint or something.
Put it down there.
That's why I kind of, we got an old desk, it's not made for what we got. Is there such thing as get something suitable so everything kind of fits nice?
You have to ask the head elder.
Oh, that's one answer. You can say no.
If there's something customizable, you see what we got down there right now. Get a table that has all these things, you can flip the computer upright, you could do a variety of things.
So that really should be upright. I don't know if it's recommended to be laying down or not like that.
If
Yeah,
you showed me, you could
that
change
doesn't
the
hurt,
colors on
yeah.
it If you really wanted psychedelic. or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn the lights down and put it into disco mode.
I wonder
Oh.
how long that's gonna last before you go out. off of one of that?
Oh, they're LEDs, they're,
My-
LEDs will last typically forever unless you overload them.
Really?
yeah, yeah.
They call it GBD, or what do they call that? For color, for your computer?
Oh, RGB?
RGB,
Yeah, yeah, and that's what they call it, it's RGB.
Yeah.
There's a remote control for it, but, and you can change this too, but,
I just do not even have one, to tell you the truth.
I'm trying to think
Computer
what else we.
passcode is 6120. We're on 6th Street. Our address is 120.
Yeah, you had to go to the
South
car.
Yeah, I don't use it very often, but I got it in a little
You should
thing I
probably just
carry
write
with.
it down on something. Just-
Yeah, well, and I'll put the YouTube, and I'll put also the streaming key.
Yeah,
I'll put all that, and then I'll laminate that page, which is kind of a checklist. Turn on, hit mic 1, make sure the volumes are up or down appropriately. But yeah, we'll make it a good checklist.
Now, is there any particular order that we need to be turning these things on? I know we've always had trouble with the pastor's computer, linking up and serializing. What I have done, trying to get it to rework, I've taken the power switch in the front and turned it off and turned it back on. Sometimes that works to synchronize it, at least for a little while, but we're only on for like 10, 15 seconds, and then it goes to the green screen. And I know when I had different connections back here, I was getting a flashing display.
Yeah. The flashing is frame rate, but for the pastor's thing, I think, and I haven't been focused on when he's setting up, but I think what we need to do is have this all up and running, not streaming yet, but, and have, on this one, have the laptop selected, so when he plugs in, it sees what it is and sees, 'cause I think what happens sometimes if we have it on the camera and he plugs in, and now when he plugs in the HDMI, because HDMI is bidirectional, so it's saying, oh, there's a whatever bit rate and whatever frame rate, and his laptop can't do that. So if we have it waiting for him with nothing there, then he can plug in, and now it defaults to his laptop. And I think that's where our green screen is.
Right now, we're going with using the church's computer and going through Zoom. We're having a feedback through Zoom in order to put it up on the screen.
Right.
And when we break for communion, he turns off Zoom, and so now I no longer have
Oh.
that connection going up there.
yeah.
And so, okay, now we don't have the closing songs because that was on his computer, and he closed Zoom down, and the link disappeared. You have to
Could
log
we
back in.
get him in to bring a thumb drive that we could play it off of here?
Can do that. Supposedly that's what Beloit was doing. He had to bring a thumb drive to them to do it, and then you use your remote to
Yeah, 'cause-
advance from one to the other. So that is possible. But we got to adapt to any speaker that may come.
Right.
Greg Heisig is coming. He didn't have a computer the last time, but Naylor will come. He'll bring his computer.
Right.
Is it going to work with that? This TV, I
Does
haven't
his
gotten to work
computer-
with any of the other computers. I have it to mine if I unplug it and plug it in there, but that's serial.
Right.
Also, plugging both of them into the computer, that seemed to work to some extent. I've got an older computer that's got a serial, it's also got an HDMI,
Mm-hmm.
that, okay, plug one in versus the other and try and do things, but
Do you know his Nalu's, is this HDMI or is his?
his is
Video.
HDMI, yeah.
Okay.
I believe he's got an Apple,
Oh, okay, yeah,
so things worked with him.
yeah.
That's what I want to do. He only gives me,
We get somebody from the
Okay.
conference coming down, most of the conference people do have the Apple computers. We had Titus, the president of the conference, he came down and it didn't work for him. We had Bill Oakes come down, and it didn't work for him either. It started, and when he plugged it in, it locked up. Okay, he was trying to do Zoom and this at the same time, his PowerPoint at the same time, and it locked up on it.
Mm.
So, those are all the gotchas that I know.
Okay.
And I see that they can come back, because we never know who's gonna be the speaker.
Yeah.
well, when a speaker comes in here and he gets Zoom running, is he a host or is he the actual guest?
He
What is
takes over the host. In order to have share access, you gotta be the host.
So when you
And I
have,
can give somebody the host, I've done that before, okay, here's a computer, I'll make
Oh,
the
right.
pastor the host or somebody else the host, Or co-host, you can do that too.
So you have to do
But
the
if
whole.
we're trying to get away from Zoom, we need to do that with the pastor. If he's gonna get rid of Zoom, we need the pastor's computer working up there or a thumb drive down here that we can run it.
There's some people that don't have computer access, and I think that's what he's worried about.
Yeah,
I'm no longer on the screen up there.
there we go.
There you go.
Anything
Well,
else that you're gonna present? or-
So, yeah, well, I have to play with that one up there, because that would be good to have that running again. That's what I was wondering. So on yours, when you plug in, when you're not using the HDMI, that you can get a signal there, right? On the screen
Yeah.
up front?
That's one alternative that I have done with the church's computer. If I had trouble with it, I could always go to the serial link and put that up there, but it doesn't have as good a resolution to it.
Right.
I've tried that before. Okay, plug this in, plug that in, which do I do? But then you have to use a remote control and change what you're looking at for the projector.
Right.
Change from HDMI to the serial.
Right.
And there's 2 channels, I believe, for each of those. Normally
Mhm.
on power up, it'll synchronize on it, but when the projector's already powered up, it doesn't necessarily sync to it, so now you've got to switch it.
Oh, yeah, so I wonder if that's the order of turning on, if we have to.
So that's why turning on isn't really critical. I haven't noticed any real difference on that, but
Well, how
it's
hard-
changed from when we started this year.
Right.
Let me ask this, how hard is it for anybody, any guest that comes here, to transfer their PowerPoint over to a computer that we have that works?
Just a matter of having a memory stick to have them download it. Most memory sticks work with either Apple or Microsoft.
Wouldn't that be smarter to do it that way?
Just
Everybody that comes, just tell them, you know, you gotta understand now, we're gonna have to get a copy, so we put it on our computer, otherwise we can't make it work.
Most speakers, though, really prefer to have their own, they're used to their setup and want to do
I'm
their
familiar with
setup.
it, I got this.
Yeah.
We do have the remote that we can advance it.
Mhm.
That's what was back in here, I believe.
I think I saw it
That's-
up there, isn't it?
The
Oh.
remote's up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Oh.
And so the church laptop is an Apple?
No.
Yes. Church's laptop is an Apple.
Oh, it is? Oh, I didn't know
The
that.
laptop.
Handheld remote is here, but in order to get it to work, there's this back button. This needed to be plugged into the computer. That's why I left it convenient. You could also plug your memory stick in there if you wanted to look back and see what's on it. But then you have control forward, backwards.
Yeah, so if they don't mind giving us their presentation, then we can, on a thumb drive, we can plug it in and then they can control it. So they still have control. It's just they don't have, until we get that screen, they have to turn around to see what's on the screen.
Yeah.
So that's why we've got to,
Yeah, it's
And-
nice to have the computer in front of you. Now I see what the screen is. However, when I was doing it, okay, now I had you can either duplicate the screens or you can extend the screen. And when you extend the screen, then it becomes a little more reary because I have to look behind me. Oh, this is what you're seeing.
Yeah.
You've seen my slide presentation. I seen a totally different thing that had notes on it to say
Right.
what's in between there. And that's why you were not seeing the screen switching all the time. It was switching, but it had the same picture on for multiple
I caught on later what you were doing.
notes.
yeah.
I caught
But
on.
then I had to increase it so I could see it inside. There's 2 ways of looking at it. The normal mode, if you put it in presenter mode, you see this is a current screen, this is the next screen. Only it's little on this. You take your big screen and now it's 1/4 or smaller.
It's hard for
I
you to
can't read those little words there.
Right, yep.
I had the title. In fact, I blew up the title
Uh-huh.
letters on it so I could see it easier.
Right.
Now, the Apple computer did a little bit different. I had both on the Apple computer and on my own personal
Oh.
computer.
Uh-huh.
But I don't use Microsoft, I use Open Windows for it, that even that's a little bit different. The church's computer does have Microsoft in, even though it is an Apple.
Oh, so you guys split?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they're seeing may not help them, and like Victor said, unless you see the title, and even on that screen, it might be too far for them to really see. You could tell when the pastor was using the screen before because he was looking up like this. You could see the day that I was reading because my head was down. So occasionally you gotta look up and look at the people, and those are some gotchas that you will see. So you gotta mount your camera low so you can see me looking straight. Or mount it high so you can see the pastor looking up. This is his face.
I often wonder how the pastor does it, because he never looks down at all. He'll talk about, when he's doing his deal, he'll be talking to us like, he's not reading nothing. It's like right out of the top of his head. And then he'll go to scripture, and then he'll read the scripture, and he'll say, we're going to this and this and this. And he'll repeat it twice so everybody knows. And then he proves it right there. And then he goes back to talking right out of his head, like he's not reading nothing. And he says, the first time he says it's a little hard, but he says when I do it the second time, it's easier.
I don't know what he does in practice. Each person does their own thing.
Yeah.
Do you
He said he
read through it all?
spends 45 hours each week to do a sermon. That's what he told me.
That's-
Took him 45 hours worth of work to get it prepped, so he's got it down pat. He's got to do all the research on everything,
Right.
and he's got to put it in his brain, and then he can sit there and he can,
Putting it up, making the PowerPoint presentations. This was the first time I used the notes on it. I didn't know it really existed on that. And when I work at home, I have one computer screen, so I'm looking at that. It doesn't do that. Once you have to
Right.
plug a second screen in, now you can see the notes and other things. And you don't see it to begin with till you say slideshow.
Yep. Yep.
So it was a learning
I ended
experience
up-
trying to figure that out.
Using a plug-in into our TV at home so we could practice with the notes. Our TV has HDMI in, so.
I used to have it all written down, but I know what I want to say, but where is it in the thing? I have it all printed out, and that's what I was using when I did previous sermons.
Right.
I had it all printed out. The only thing I had up there was scriptures. So I went to the scriptures, okay, here it is, but then I get worried I'm going to forget where I'm at, it's going to be,
Yep.
I'm going to trip
Yeah, it's
over
harder than it
myself.
looks.
well, I've been to some churches right where I visited, and people go up there and they speak, and they don't have nothing in front of them. And you just try to speak, and they're so nervous. And our church looks like $1 million compared to some of them I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
They don't got it. They just don't have
Well,
it.
you look at these presidential candidates, they don't memorize the speeches, they have it on their teleprompter.
Yep.
Except
Down in
for
front of
Trump.
them, there's a screen that they'll look down.
Trump don't do it.
Yes, he does. They
Well,
all
he does
do
to a
it.
point.
They all have it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
on
they
there.
got it. It's a teleprompter.
and they give the same speech multiple times. Well, I'll go to Milwaukee, and then I'll go to Chicago, and I'll go here.
Right.
They give the same speech.
Oh, yeah, Trump
And it
does
gets it a
that,
little easier.
like to a T. It's
Doug
everything.
Batchelor, he's so aimed on it that, okay, when the Holy Spirit impresses him, he can speak.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just got it in them to do that,
Doug Batchelor, Mark Finley, most of these ones, they've
Mhm.
done it all their life.
Yeah.
It's us lay people who, I do it once an occasion, and I'm nervous on doing it, and the more nervous I get, the faster I speak, and
Fun fact about Trump that I just learned was that he's never had a sip of alcohol. He's never smoked or
Nope,
had
never
anything
done
to
none of
drink.
that.
And it's not something you'd normally know.
I just wish he'd lose a little weight. He's a little bit stocky, too stocky.
I guess his brother or his uncle, I guess, was a raging alcoholic, and he saw that and said, I'm not doing that. I wish more people saw how destructive it was and just
Yeah.
fit people.
He's got, if you search hard enough, you can find he's got golfing now on YouTube.
Just wish he wasn't so orange all the time.
The orange man.
So are we good on all this then, do you think?
Well,
There's always
You
gonna be
can-
more, but
there's
Do you want me to
always
send that
been-
with you and you can play with it and then
Sure.
just bring it back on
Yeah.
next week? Okay.
Why,
I'm gonna-
why can't you eject those sometimes? They won't let you. There's nothing to eject.
Oh, well, oh yeah, you're right, it's not showing a, but
Sometimes it does.
if it doesn't show up there, you can sometimes do it this way, go over here,
Yeah, that's Windows 10 now, though. I got 11.
Well, that's weird. It's not even showing this PC. It's not even showing that drive.
Does it say-
Oh, because the drive is actually,
Connect to
oh,
this.
yeah. Here it's connected to this, so as long as you power that off, you're okay.
No, but I
So
mean,
when
I've done
you-
it at home already, too.
Mhm.
I can't find where it says eject.
But
I
if-
give up finally, I just pull the cord out.
Do you ever do it this way, that if you go to this PC and then it should show up here?
Well, I
and then-
guess I could try that, yeah.
And then so then you come over here, wherever it is.
Right click and eject it.
Yeah, you can right click and then there'd be in the menu here, it'll say eject.
Yeah, I'll try that. That's good, that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know you're not supposed to unplug those hot.
You can lose all your data,
Yeah,
yeah.
And
And you
the-
can mess them up so you can't reformat it.
yeah,
I've goofed up thumb drives that way.
yeah, yeah, you should always eject it, don't just
Yeah.
unplug it. Yeah. People don't do that though, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off then.
Well, there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming up, it's just that, I just hope, what do you got left here now? You got September,
We leave October 9th.
so you might as well say, right around the time I quit at the golf course is when you're gonna be going back. So. We don't run into something.
Well, main thing is practice. Try things, we'll come across different things. And don't let it worry you. We have a glitch. If you want.
Oh, I know what you do. Please do this. What do you do? Well, that time. And you get rid of those. Yeah, that guy's gonna have to like that. And another thing, here's what happened. You mentioned it today. I put in last week's title on the live stream. Guess what? You can put the same title on this. Yeah. Why did it do that? And so, because you have to, I went in there and I edited it, and I went in where it says, title, right, and it said live stream, that's all it said, and then I just added, it was Paul, and then I hit save, and then now this week, it comes up with Tuesday. Yeah, I got rid of it, actually,
I came down there, but, okay.
You weren't supposed to be there. Well, you set that there, you set it in the, so that I won't. I went into the, you bring up all these videos, that shows you whether or not the game, it just said ice cream. So then I forget what it is, right, so I still use something when it's supposed to be. And then when I record the date, it transfers the Judas over to the today's. And I never put anything inside that.
You know, my computer, if I save some directory, next time it comes, and I say save, where'd that go? Well, whatever the last directory I have, that's where it's going to. Do a search to find it.
Well, this says save,
What else? Where's, I don't even know.
but this says save on, so you can change it. I'll go ahead. The permanent thing should just be decided, so the more you can have time. So then, what we gotta do though,